equality machine, and I called it the equality machine, to really shift our mindset from all the bad, kind of scary things that we are hearing around us about technology. And a lot of them have some truth, sometimes a lot of truth to them, that algorithms and AI and digital technology can do harm. But I found that it's really important to have a much more nuanced conversation where we can start thinking about what would technology look like if we designed it to be an equality machine, to be AI for good, to do the work that we need to do to have a fairer and more just society. We've really had a shift over the past 2 decades from a lot of excitement around new technology and an understanding that technology in kind of its inherent state can both have potential and costs and problems, to having very flat conversations about automating bias and automating inequality and surveillance, and we have less and less privacy. And I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of kind of alarmist misinformation about the direction that technology has been taking. Some has been about who has skin in the game in designing our technology system. So there is very much justifiably a concern about the concentration of who has the power to decide and design our digital systems. There is far too much concentration with big tech. I have been very much involved in antitrust policy with the current administration and internationally. A lot of the fear of tech has to do with kind of behavioral failures that we have. So we have, I think, an aversion from things that are less understood, less known. We, as humans, we have a psychological aversion from change. And all of those have been coming together for a really misinformed and too flat kind of alarmist discussion that we're having about technology. To move forward, we need to do both things. We need to be critical, but we need to be cautiously constructive and optimistic. If we want to see progress, it's not enough to just say, let's ban algorithmic decision making, let's ban biometric, data collection. What we need to do is ask the questions and be sincere about what are our goals and what are the trade-offs between different choices that we are making as a society. So this is the history of all human progress. There are always, costs and benefits. There are risks, and we need to be having the conversation that really asks, what have been the failures? What have been the harms? What are the risks? But discovering the best practices, discovering the potential. And really, I wrote The Equality Machine because in my research, I find so many things to celebrate, so many great developments, so many heroes, really, like computer scientists that are revolutionizing healthcare and health screening and medical devices, and making sure that we can detect salary gaps in the workforce and really in every sector of life. Part of the motivation of writing The Equality Machine is to show that in every field of life and in every sector and kind of area that we care about, we have also very promising development. So again, we need to do both. We need to know what the worst practices are, but we also need to have a vision and kind of a blueprint of what are the best practices. I think that the policy solutions on the table are quite limited right now. First of all, I think that we are privileging privacy in a way that sometimes can be harmful to the very communities, the exact communities that we're actually trying to advance and protect and have more resources allocated to them. So there is definitely a digital divide in the world. What I show in the book is that we should be as equally worried of not collecting data as we can sometimes be worried. And again, justifiably so. There are some times that we should be concerned about collecting too much data and, intruding too much on people's personal information. But we should absolutely be worried when data is not collected and when we leave some communities in different places in the country or different areas in the world, especially in the developing world, without access to digital data collection. We shouldn't have these divides between countries. We should understand that there are winners and losers from overprotection just as much as there are winners and losers from kind of underprotection of digital collection. So I think that the conversations that we're having are very divisive, and as a consequence, we aren't looking at constructive solutions that are robust, that are involve collective action, that involve investment in technology, in experimentation. There's kind of this binary conversation right now of, private industry will take care of everything, or private industry is the source of all evil. We need to kind of focus on breaking up big tech and creating bans on certain technologies like facial recognition, or erect more walls on digital data collection. Those are conversations that we need to have, but we aren't having the conversations about our core democratic values that have always had internal tensions within them. So we value privacy, we value equality and health and safety and speech and access and education and growth and innovation. And we need to acknowledge that in each system and each kind of new advancement in technology, there are going to be some trade-offs, there are going to be some difficult decisions to make. And those are really the decisions that we have to make as a society. Those are the conversations that we have to have. When do we value accuracy at some expense to some privacy issues, for example? I think we're not having these conversations because we think that everything is kind of right and left, that it's very ideological. Sometimes it's hard to see the arc of progress when we're living history. A lot of things that are concerning at the moment, and there's a lot of wrongs in the world. Here in the United States, even compared to a decade ago, women have less reproductive rights than they had. Certainly that's not a reason for optimism. And yet, I use this term, the arc of history, the arc of progress. I think it's very important to look at the huge leaps that have been made for equality, for women, for minorities, for people with disability, inclusion, accessibility, through technological advancements. And so when I set out to research and when I describe in the book, all these wonderful things that are happening in medicine, in biotechnology, in technology and platforms that help tackle the hiring gaps, the salary gaps, even the dating markets. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm, always also asking about the risks, but I think that only when we have skin in the game and we have this kind of constructive stance of how can we envision the best possible future, I think that's when we actually get a brighter future and an equality machine.